What if I told you that the chronic aches in your knees, the brain fog you can't shake off, and the exhaustion that hits you at 3 p.m. aren't just normal signs of aging? They are the alarms of a silent fire burning inside your body. Modern medicine calls it chronic systemic inflammation, and it is the root cause of almost every major disease we face today. But here is what the science makes crystal clear. You don't have to live with it, and the most powerful fire extinguisher isn't sitting in a pharmacy. It's growing on trees, bushes, and vines, packed with ancient compounds called polyphenols. Today, I'm going to show you 20 polyphenol-rich fruits that your body was built to consume, ranked from remarkable to absolutely extraordinary. And I'm going to tell you exactly how these vibrant fruits cool your body's inflammation instantly, at a cellular level, in ways no synthetic pill can replicate. Stick around because number 8 on this list is a tiny, dark berry that ancient healers used to treat joint pain, and modern clinical trials now show it can significantly reduce inflammatory markers in just weeks. And number 15 is a common tropical fruit hiding a specific enzyme that literally digests the inflammatory proteins causing your stiffness. Hit that subscribe button right now because we post new videos every week connecting cutting-edge nutrition science with the foods your body was built to thrive on. Let's get into it. Here are 20 polyphenol-rich fruits that will cool your inflammation, ranked from remarkable to absolutely extraordinary. 1. Pomegranate, the ancient jewel of cellular repair. There is almost nothing that looks more like a treasure than an open pomegranate. Cultivated since the dawn of human history and revered in ancient texts, this fruit is a masterpiece of anti-inflammatory power. What makes pomegranates extraordinary is a specific polyphenol called punicalagin, found in the juice and the peel. Punicalagins are so potent that the antioxidant activity of pomegranate juice has been shown to be 3 times higher than that of red wine and green tea. When these compounds enter your bloodstream, they do something remarkable. They directly inhibit the inflammatory pathways in your joints. For anyone dealing with osteoarthritis, cartilage breakdown, or morning stiffness, this is the mechanism you need. Your body literally uses these polyphenols to block the enzymes that cause cartilage damage. Furthermore, the bacteria in your gut transform pomegranate polyphenols into a compound called urolithin A, which has been shown to rejuvenate your mitochondria, the energy powerhouses of your cells. Eat the fresh arils, toss them into salads, or drink a half cup of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice daily. You are not just eating a fruit, you are delivering a direct cooling mechanism to your inflamed joints. 2. Tart cherries, the tiny sour remedy for deep muscle and joint pain. Most people ignore tart cherries because they lack the intense sweetness of standard Bing cherries. But that sourness is exactly where the medicine lives. That tart flavor is the chemical signature of anthocyanins, deep red polyphenols that act as natural cyclooxygenase, COX inhibitors. If that sounds familiar, it's because that is the exact same enzymatic pathway targeted by over-the-counter pain medications like ibuprofen and aspirin. But tart cherries do it naturally, without destroying your gut lining. Clinical research consistently shows that consuming tart cherry juice significantly reduces biomarkers of inflammation, including CRP, C-reactive protein, and rapidly accelerates recovery from deep muscle soreness. Traditional healers didn't know about COX enzymes, but they knew that a handful of these sour berries could relieve the swelling of gout and arthritis almost overnight. Drink an ounce of pure, concentrated tart cherry juice mixed with water before bed, or add a handful of frozen tart cherries to your morning smoothie. Your joints, your muscles, and even your nervous system will all benefit. 3. Blueberries, the brain-protecting shield against neuroinflammation. When we talk about inflammation, most people think about aching joints or a swollen knee, but the most dangerous inflammation is the kind you can't feel, the silent fire burning inside your brain. Blueberries are arguably the most researched neuroprotective fruit on Earth, and it comes down to their extraordinary concentration of specific anthocyanins. What makes the polyphenols in wild blueberries truly unique is their ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. Once inside your brain tissue, they actively neutralize the oxidative stress and inflammatory signaling that lead to memory loss, brain fog, and cognitive decline. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry showed that older adults who consumed blueberry juice daily experienced significant improvements in memory function and blood flow to the brain within just 12 weeks. Furthermore, these compounds act as selective prebiotics in your gut, feeding beneficial bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids, which directly lower systemic inflammation throughout your entire body. Eat a cup of fresh or frozen wild blueberries every single day. Toss them into oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or eat them straight from the bowl. You aren't just feeding your body, you are putting a protective shield around your memory. 4. Black grapes, the resveratrol powerhouse for cardiovascular healing. For decades, scientists puzzled over why traditional Mediterranean populations maintained remarkably low rates of cardiovascular disease despite diets rich in fats. The secret wasn't a magic pill, it was the dark, polyphenol-dense skins and seeds of black grapes. Black grapes are one of nature's richest sources of resveratrol, a unique polyphenol that acts as a potent anti-inflammatory agent for your circulatory system. When your arterial walls become inflamed from stress or toxins, they stiffen and attract plaque buildup. Resveratrol directly stimulates the production of nitric oxide, which relaxes your blood vessels, improves blood flow, and cools the inflammatory cascade inside your arterial walls. Even more remarkable, resveratrol activates sirtuins, often called your body's longevity genes, mimicking the cellular repair processes usually triggered by fasting. But here is the critical instruction. Eat the whole grape, especially the dark skin and the seeds, if you can find seeded varieties. That is where the therapeutic medicine lives. A handful of black grapes provides a steady, heart-protecting dose of ancient medicine. 5. Strawberries, the cellular cleanser that clears out zombie cells. Don't let their sweet taste and common presence in the produce aisle fool you. Strawberries are functional medicine disguised as an everyday fruit. What puts strawberries on this list is a specific, powerful polyphenol called fisetin. In modern longevity science, fisetin is recognized as one of the most potent natural senolytics in the plant kingdom. As we age, our bodies accumulate senescent cells, often called zombie cells. These are damaged cells that refuse to die, lingering in your tissues and constantly secreting toxic, inflammatory chemicals that degrade surrounding healthy cartilage and organs. Fisetin seeks out these inflammatory zombie cells and triggers their natural removal, allowing your tissues to regenerate. A clinical trial demonstrated that eating just 8 strawberries a day significantly reduced markers of systemic inflammation while improving insulin sensitivity. Slice them over morning oats or eat them fresh. Every serving is actively cleaning up the cellular debris that drives chronic aging and joint pain. 6. Cranberries, the bitter marsh fruit that shields your gut lining and suppresses systemic inflammation. Most people only think of cranberries for urinary health or as a sugar-loaded side dish, but in their pure form, they are among the most therapeutically powerful anti-inflammatory fruits on earth. Their secret lies in A-type proanthocyanidins, or PACs. This unique polyphenol acts like a microscopic non-stick coating, preventing inflammatory pathogens from anchoring to your gut mucosa. When your gut lining is protected, your immune system stops firing off chronic inflammatory alarms. Clinical research confirms that pure cranberry intake significantly lowers C-reactive protein and improves vascular elasticity. Skip the sweetened juices and mix 2 tablespoons of pure, unsweetened cranberry juice into water daily. 7. Apples, the everyday orchard staple carrying a master anti-inflammatory flavonoid. We have all heard that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but modern science has mapped out precisely why. The healing power lives in the skin, packed with quercetin, one of the most studied anti-inflammatory compounds in nutritional science. Quercetin acts as a natural mast cell stabilizer, directly inhibiting the release of cytokines that trigger joint stiffness and systemic swelling. It works synergistically with apple pectin to feed anti-inflammatory gut bacteria, strengthening your intestinal barrier. Never peel your apples. Wash them thoroughly and eat them whole, preferably selecting Granny Smith or Red Delicious varieties for the highest polyphenol density. 8. Black currants, the tiny dark berry that ancient healers used to treat severe joint pain. This is the fruit I teased at the beginning of our journey, and its clinical profile is remarkable. For centuries, European healers prescribed black currants for rheumatism and gout. Today, science confirms why. Black currants contain an extraordinary concentration of specific anthocyanins that operate with laser precision inside your joints. In randomized clinical trials, black currant extract produced a dramatic reduction in interleukin-6 and TNF-alpha, 2 destructive inflammatory cytokines associated with aging and cartilage breakdown. They improve peripheral blood flow, literally flushing inflammatory debris out of stiff joints. Add organic black currant powder to your daily routine for deep cellular relief. 9. Red grapes, the arterial elasticity secret. If you've ever looked at a red grape and seen it simply as a sweet snack, you are missing one of the most sophisticated vascular tonics in nature. While we discussed black grapes earlier for their resveratrol, red grapes bring a unique blend of quercetin and catechin polyphenols that focus specifically on arterial elasticity. As we age, Our blood vessels naturally stiffen, a process that drives high blood pressure and increases the risk of cardiovascular events. The polyphenols in red grapes act as natural vasodilators. They encourage your endothelium, the delicate lining of your arteries, to produce more nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and open wide. When your vessels are relaxed, your heart doesn't have to work as hard, and the chronic, high-pressure inflammation inside those vessels subsides. It is nature's way of keeping your internal plumbing supple and responsive. Eat them with the skin on. That is where the vast majority of these vascular protecting compounds are stored. A simple bowl of red grapes is a daily investment in keeping your circulatory system young and flexible. 10. Elderberries, the ancient immune-modulating shield. For thousands of years across Europe and North America, the elderberry has been the first line of defense against the winter fire, the systemic inflammation triggered by viral invaders. Modern research has finally demystified why these tiny, dark berries were so revered. Elderberries are packed with a specific class of anthocyanins that don't just kill inflammation, they modulate your immune system's response to it. When your immune system overreacts to a threat, it releases a flood of inflammatory chemicals that cause the aches, pains, and fatigue we associate with sickness. Elderberry polyphenols help turn down the volume on this response, suppressing the release of inflammatory cytokines while simultaneously supporting your body's natural defense mechanisms. Think of them as a biological thermostat, preventing your system from running too hot. Use pure, cooked elderberry syrup or extract. Never eat them raw, as they can be tough on the stomach, but as a therapeutic concentrate, they are an unmatched tool for cooling the internal fire of an overactive immune system. 11. Oranges, the capillary-strengthening citrus. Most people associate oranges with vitamin C, but the true anti-inflammatory power of citrus lies in a polyphenol called hesperidin. Hesperidin is unique because it specifically targets your capillaries, the tiniest blood vessels in your body, often smaller than a single hair. When these microvessels become inflamed, they start to leak, leading to the swelling, puffiness, and poor circulation that many people over 50 struggle with. Hesperidin strengthens the walls of these tiny vessels, improving their structural integrity and reducing the inflammatory leakage into surrounding tissues. This is not just about reducing puffiness, it is about ensuring that oxygen and nutrients can actually reach your extremities and your brain. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition suggests that daily consumption of hesperidin-rich citrus juice can lower markers of endothelial inflammation. Eat the whole fruit, including the fibrous pith between the segments. That is where the highest concentration of hesperidin is found. It is a simple, refreshing way to ensure every corner of your body stays nourished and inflammation-free. 12. Plums and prunes, the ancient bone-protecting, inflammation-dampening treasure. Many people associate prunes only with digestion, but that is a severe underestimation of this fruit's therapeutic potential. Plums, especially when dried into prunes, are incredibly rich in a specific polyphenol called chlorogenic acid. Research in the field of nutritional science has identified chlorogenic acid as a powerhouse for reducing inflammation and protecting your tissues from oxidative damage. For anyone over 50, this is critical. Chronic inflammation is the silent thief of bone density, breaking down the structural integrity of your skeleton. Studies have shown that regular consumption of prunes not only cools systemic inflammation, but also helps preserve bone mineral density. They are essentially a fruit-based remedy for the structural integrity of your body. Whether you eat them fresh as plums or dried as prunes, you are providing your body with a dense concentration of antioxidants that specifically target the tissues prone to age-related degradation. Add a few to your morning yogurt or eat them as a midday snack. You are nourishing your bones and dampening the internal fire. 13. Red raspberries, the ellagic acid defense system. Raspberries are more than just a sweet treat. They are one of the most effective sources of ellagic acid, a polyphenol that functions differently than the anthocyanins we have discussed. Ellagic acid is a robust defender of cellular health. It has been extensively studied for its ability to inhibit the inflammatory pathways that lead to cellular damage and premature aging. When you consume raspberries, you are flooding your system with compounds that stabilize the gut barrier and reduce the permeability, or leakiness, that often triggers systemic inflammation in the first place. Think of raspberries as a cellular repair crew. They don't just put out the fire, they help rebuild the defenses. Furthermore, their high prebiotic fiber content works in tandem with their polyphenols to foster a microbiome that naturally suppresses inflammatory signals. Eat them fresh in the summer or buy them frozen in the winter. A handful a day is a simple, effective strategy to keep your cellular defenses strong. 14. Pineapple, the enzyme-powered inflammatory disruptor. This is the fruit I teased in the introduction, the one hiding an enzyme capable of literally digesting the proteins that cause your stiffness and pain. That enzyme is called bromelain. While most fruits are on this list for their antioxidant polyphenols, pineapple earns its place through this remarkable protein-digesting capability. Bromelain works by breaking down the inflammatory proteins, like fibrin, that build up in inflamed tissues, causing the swelling, stiffness, and soreness that keep you from moving comfortably. It is nature's way of clearing the path for healing. When you eat fresh pineapple, the bromelain enters your circulation and begins to dissolve the clutter in your joints and connective tissues, allowing your body to flush out the debris that causes aches. To get the therapeutic dose, you must eat the fruit fresh. Cooking or canning destroys this delicate enzyme. Eat a slice of fresh pineapple with the core included. That is where the highest concentration of bromelain lives. It is a sweet, tropical way to dismantle inflammation from the inside out. 15. Papaya, the digestive enzyme powerhouse that clears the path to healing. When we speak about inflammation, we often look at joints and tissues, but the battleground for inflammation frequently begins in your gut. Papaya is one of the most effective tools for calming digestive-related inflammation. What makes papaya extraordinary is a specific enzyme called papain. Similar to bromelain in pineapple, papain is a potent protein-digesting enzyme that breaks down the food particles that often trigger inflammatory responses in the digestive tract. When your gut has to struggle to break down complex proteins, it creates systemic inflammation that travels throughout your entire body. Papaya does the heavy lifting for you, reducing the burden on your digestive system and allowing your gut lining to heal. Furthermore, papaya is rich in carotenoids and specific polyphenols that combat oxidative stress. Traditional healers in tropical climates have used the entire fruit and even the leaves to treat everything from minor infections to severe skin inflammation. Eat it fresh, add it to fruit salads, or blend it into a smoothie. By introducing these natural enzymes into your diet, you are not just eating fruit, you are providing your body with a chemical key to unlock easier digestion and a quieter, less inflamed system. 16. Mango, the king of fruits with a hidden anti-inflammatory secret. Mangoes are often dismissed as simple sugary treats, but within their vibrant golden flesh lies a unique polyphenol known as mangiferin. This compound is the star of the show when it comes to reducing oxidative damage. Mangiferin is being studied extensively for its ability to regulate the inflammatory cytokines that contribute to long-term health issues. Unlike many other fruits, the anti-inflammatory power of mango extends deep into your metabolic health. Research has shown that consistent intake of mangiferin can help improve insulin sensitivity and lower the markers of systemic inflammation that often accompany metabolic syndrome. For the aging population, mangoes act as a cellular protector, guarding your tissues against the cumulative damage of a lifetime of stress and environmental exposure. It is a delicious, cooling remedy for the internal heat of chronic inflammation. Slice it into your morning bowl, add it to salsas, or enjoy it as a refreshing snack. You are consuming a potent, natural anti-inflammatory agent that works to balance your body's internal chemistry. 17. Kiwi, the vibrant cellular warrior. Often overlooked in favor of more glamorous berries, the kiwi is a nutritional titan that deserves a permanent spot on your anti-inflammatory shopping list. Kiwi is packed with a unique combination of vitamin C, vitamin E, and a digestive enzyme called actinidin. This enzyme, much like papain in papaya, helps break down proteins and ease the digestive load, which is a common but often ignored driver of systemic inflammation. But the real magic lies in its polyphenol content. Studies have shown that the antioxidants in kiwi are exceptionally effective at protecting DNA from oxidative damage, the kind of cellular stress that drives aging and chronic disease. Regular consumption of kiwi has been linked to better bowel regularity and reduced levels of inflammatory markers in the blood. Because it is nutrient-dense and low glycemic, it provides all these benefits without spiking your blood sugar. Peel them and eat them as a snack, or add them to your morning yogurt. Every kiwi you eat is a small, consistent deposit into your body's anti-inflammatory reserve, helping to keep your cells resilient and your inflammation levels in check. 18. Watermelon, the cooling giant of cellular hydration. When you think of inflammation, you might not immediately think of watermelon, but this massive fruit is one of nature's most efficient delivery systems for lycopene. Lycopene is a potent carotenoid antioxidant that gives watermelon its vibrant red color and acts as a powerful anti-inflammatory agent within your blood vessels. Systemic inflammation often manifests as oxidative stress, which damages your cells' ability to repair themselves. Lycopene neutralizes this stress, specifically targeting the inflammatory markers that contribute to chronic vascular stiffness. Furthermore, watermelon is exceptionally high in citrulline, an amino acid that helps your body produce nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes and dilates your blood vessels, improving blood flow and cooling the heat of high blood pressure. Eat it fresh, particularly in the summer when your body needs extra hydration and cooling. It is one of the most refreshing ways to dampen the inflammatory fires of vascular tension. 19. Goji berries, the Himalayan longevity berry. For thousands of years, practitioners of traditional Asian medicine have used goji berries as a staple for longevity, immune modulation, and inflammation control. What sets these small red berries apart is their unique content of complex polysaccharides. These are long-chain carbohydrates that act as powerful immunomodulators, meaning they help your immune system distinguish between a real threat and a false alarm that causes chronic, systemic inflammation. If your immune system is stuck in an overactive state, constantly firing off cytokines, it leads to the aches, fatigue, and tissue degradation we see in aging. Goji berries help reset that response. They are also rich in zeaxanthin, a potent antioxidant that specifically protects your eyes from inflammatory damage caused by light exposure. Whether dried or fresh, a small daily serving acts as an ancient shield for your immune system, helping it stay resilient without running hot. 20. Apricots, the golden fruit of antioxidant defense. We close this list with a fruit often overlooked but uniquely dense in anti-inflammatory compounds. Apricots are a rich source of beta-carotene and quercetin, a combination that works wonders for both your skin and your gut lining. Quercetin, as we've discussed, is a master flavonoid that stabilizes cells to prevent the release of histamine and inflammatory cytokines. When you eat apricots, you are essentially providing your body with the raw materials it needs to repair the mucosal barriers in your gut and respiratory system. Chronic inflammation often originates in a compromised gut. By strengthening those barriers, you reduce the influx of inflammatory triggers into your bloodstream. Choose organic apricots when possible, and eat them with the skin on to maximize your polyphenol intake. They are the perfect golden anchor to finish our list of 20 fruits that cool the fire within. If you made it all the way here, you've just been given a complete, science-backed framework for cooling your body's inflammation and reclaiming your health. Let me leave you with the architecture. Cool the deep muscle and joint pain with the anthocyanins in tart cherries and black currants. Shield your brain and gut with the wild polyphenols found in blueberries and cranberries. Protect your arterial health with the resveratrol and quercetin in grapes and apples. And keep your immune system balanced with the ancient power of goji berries and elderberries. This isn't just about eating fruit. This is a tactical nutritional strategy. It's available to anyone at any age, starting with your very next meal. The civilizations that stayed healthiest, the cultures that maintained physical vitality, mental sharpness, and freedom from chronic pain well into old age were not eating processed, inflammatory foods. They were eating the vibrant, polyphenol-rich plants on this list, grown in the earth, ripened by the sun, and consumed with intention. They didn't know about NF-κB pathways or cytokine cascades, but they knew that these fruits kept the internal fire from burning them out. Modern science has now mapped the mechanisms in precise molecular detail, and the conclusion is the same as it has always been. The most powerful medicine on earth is the one that grows in the ground. Smash that like button if this changed the way you think about what's on your plate. Drop a comment and tell me which fruit surprised you the most. Are you Team Pomegranate, Team Tart Cherry, or Team Wild Blueberry? I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that button and ring the bell. We're building a community that takes nutrition seriously, evidence-based, practical, and deeply rooted in how your body actually works. Because the most powerful healing strategy doesn't come in a bottle, it grows in the earth. And now, you know exactly what to harvest.